Okay, everybody, this is
Just
the
ridiculous.
this is the 7 p.m. meeting to save the residents that the mayor wants to boot from their homes for this project. We do support flood relief for Harvey, but we want them to find another location, and we believe that the mayor is the main one holding this up. Unfortunately, one of our affected residents here.
You have to show ID, so please come with your ID if you come, and you have to be a resident of Harvey.
Yeah.
Right, which I think is ridiculous and should be illegal because anybody should be able to come. But also, apparently, when she tried to bring in her signs, basically saying "Save our homes," what did they tell you?
We couldn't. And then they gave us a hard time with her. She's 17.
Right. So to me, I'm thinking, hello, public meeting, free speech. You should be able to bring in signs. This is nothing disruptive. No one's being harmed. So anyway, I just wanted to put that on the record. If you can come out, please. I know it's hard. People have work and all sorts of responsibilities, but if you can come out tonight, it starts very soon. Show your support, even if you can only come for a little bit.
Hey, y'all please pull up. This is an urgent matter. This is also a resolution on the House floor, on the council floor this upcoming Monday. We need resident voice. We need to speak out about folks being eminent domain taken to an effect, because if this was your home, you'd equally want that support. And so we're just asking for everyone at large to use your voice. It matters. People matter, and Harvey can't be on the uprise, and then those who've poured into the city for the past 30 years not seek the better benefit of what's going on.
Right.
Thank you, Ryan.
And this is the alderman for the 2nd Ward, Colby Chapman. So, like you said, it's very important, guys.
Very important.
This could be your house,
Yeah.
and we would stand with you too. So, thank you. Please come out. Tell us that's okay, because again, it's nothing about them, but we just want to get it. Now, the lady that tried to bring in the signs, you guys said she couldn't bring in the signs either. She, one of the residents had some signs like "Save our homes" or whatever. Okay. We did, we may be filing, something though for open meetings, because for open meetings it should be anybody from the public should be able to attend.
Oh, you did? Come on. Yeah. Come on. Okay.
Did they tell you can't attend because you're not a Harvey resident?
No, I live in Harvey. I don't have my ID that says I live in Harvey.
Ah. I just wanted to get it on video, just because, like I said, we may file something for an Open Meetings Act violation.
Okay.
So, because if it's a public meeting, it's supposed to be open to the public, anyone. So, not that I'm not mad at these guys; they're just doing what they're told.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. I heard you say weapons. I'm like,
But I do want to try to get it on video so that we know.
That's his cell number.
So, what did they say? Not to let anybody in if they don't have their ID? Harvey ID? Okay.
they got to just prove that they're Harvey resident.
Okay, so they have to. I'm not mad at you guys. I just want to know for the rules, because you're just doing your job. But we will probably file a complaint of Open Meetings Act violation, because it should be open to the public if it's a public meeting.
Oh, here it is.
I got her address on there.
Okay, she did it on that phone. No. Okay, that phone number, 728. 728-965. 0469. Thank you so much. I don't have anything beside my keys. Okay.
And Colby, probably at least one of us should do maybe a Facebook Live. I can try. Or your mom. Or if not, I'll try to.
You want to switch spots with my mom, or I'm sitting right there, that's where you can go live at.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to stand at the side so I can move around if I need to. I don't even need a seat. If that's okay with you. I just want to video everybody who's here right now. I love videos because we can always go back and check later. I'll grab. Oh, that's one of the ones we already have. I'll grab it anyway. Oh, what did they say? They finally let you in?
Yeah, they let her in. They gave the guy down there a hard time.
Right.
Because he's a resident. His ID says
Thank you so much, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I'm Unita Brown, and newly elected Commissioner for MWRD and Vice Chair of the Stormwater Management Committee for the district. Thank you all for having us here today. I would also like to acknowledge that I have my colleagues with me. I have President Carrie Steele, who's walking over here. I have Vice President Teresa Flynn and Commissioner Ada Corral-Sepulveda. My goal today is to lead this discussion and lend a compassionate ear to the residents of Harvey and offer assistance where possible. I believe it starts with a dialogue in which the residents of Harvey have an opportunity to voice your concerns directly to the district to help us understand your needs, questions, and concerns. Today, I cannot guarantee the outcomes. However, I can assure you that your concerns are a top priority for us. As a commissioner who represents the residents of Cook County, I have a fiduciary duty to inform you of your options. MWRD has worked to protect public health for more than 134 years. A prime example of this is the Central Park Stormwater Detention Basin and separate stormwater sewer improvements in Harvey. MWRD intentionally seeks projects in which we can partner with municipalities to address flooding and construct innovative green and great infrastructures to proactively prepare for the increased rainfall. The difficult decision of displacement does not devalue who must sacrifice. Although sacrifices help the community, we must be just. I define justice as ensuring that each resident receives equitable support through the information, resources, and commitment as we navigate this process. I recognize the devastation of involuntarily being uprooted. I realize home is not simply four walls and a roof, but rather the investments and memories throughout the years. Because I understand this, I want to walk the journey with you all. In February of 2018, the City of Harvey submitted a Harvey Flood Relief Project application to MWRD Stormwater Partnership Program. In June of 2018, the MWRD Board of Commissioners approved the Harvey Flood Relief Project, which was a conceptual planning study to evaluate existing flooding problems and potential solutions within a 2.4 square mile study area in Harvey. Harvey Central Park Stormwater Detention Basin represents a $9.8 billion investment in protecting the Harvey community from flooding while also delivering open space recreation for residents. At this time, I would like to now introduce Senior Civil Engineer Dan Walsh, the MWRD Project Manager, who will kick off this presentation today and help answer any questions after all the speakers complete their presentations. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Mr. Commissioner, my name is Dan Walsh, and I'm going to talk about the project details and the background of the project in greater detail. MWRD's role in this project is we're partnering with the City of Harvey to perform the preliminary study of the flooding in the city, along with the final design of the Harvey Central Park Stormwater Detention Basin project. The project includes stormwater improvements such as the detention basin, walking trail around the basin, landscaping, sewer improvements, and property acquisition. MWRD hired a consultant to study 2.4 square miles in the city of Harvey. The area is served primarily by a combined sewer system. Our consultant performed hydrologic and hydraulic stormwater modeling, and as a result of the modeling, an inundation map was developed. This is a map that shows flooding that may occur during and stormwater storage through a detention basin would be required in order to address the flooding in the city. There are 4 key elements that must be satisfied when determining the location of the basin. The space required is, the basin requires 3 to 4 acres of open continuous green space. It must be centrally located within the project boundaries. It must be in close proximity to both the IDOT Street storm sewer system, which will allow us to drain into that system and also limit the size of the basin. And it also must be in close proximity to a large combined sewer system, which will allow for a low flow outfall of the detention basin. As a result of the study and in conjunction with the City of Harvey, the Central Park Detention Basin project was developed. As you can see on the screen, there's an overview of the project. There is approximately 10,000 linear feet of storm sewers down 8 side streets from Wood to Center in between 153rd and 154 that will convey the water to the detention basin. And centrally located is the detention basin on Myrtle Avenue between 153rd and 154. This basin will hold approximately 7.5 million gallons of water during a storm event. And how the system works is during a rain event, water is conveyed down the side streets and down 153rd to the basin. As the basin begins to fill and reaches a certain height, water will begin to flow west to the I. Wood Street system. There's also a low-flow outlet on Vine to the north that will bring the water back down to its normal water elevation. Here's another rendering of the detention basin. You can't see it, there is handouts that show the basin. There's a trail around the basin along with native plantings and limestone steps that will provide shoreline access. There's also plenty of open green space for outdoor recreation and room for Harvey in the future to potentially expand on our project. As a result of this project, 209 homes will be benefited from reduced flooding in a rain event that has a 1% chance per year of happening. We'll also reduce flows in the combined sewer system, which potentially will reduce basement backups. And while this project is a really good start to addressing the flooding in Harvey, it will not solve all the issues. There's many unique challenges in the city, such as very flat terrain, the combined sewer system, and the limited amount of stormwater storage. That it'll take a multifaceted approach to address flooding in the entire city. Some of the project details. The project is currently in the design phase. Construction is anticipated to begin to take 18 months. It will begin once property acquisition is complete. The construction is estimated to cost $9.85 million. It will be funded 100% by MWRD. 31 parcels were identified on Myrtle Avenue between 153rd and 154 that fall within the footprint of the basin and need to be acquired in order to complete this project. I would like to turn it over to Brendan Daly, an attorney with MWRD, who will go into the relocation and acquisition process in greater detail.
Thanks so much, Dan. Does everybody hear me? Okay. Perfect. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brendan Daly. Dan, thank you for the overview of the project. So I'm the attorney at the district that's the head of the real estate division. So my role is to help the engineering department acquire the properties that are needed for the project. And as Dan showed up on the screen, there are 31 properties that we need to purchase in order to construct the detention basin for the project. 15 of the parcels have structures that are occupied, and 16 of the parcels are vacant. So my role is to help make sure that the land acquisition process goes smoothly. Now I want to say right at the beginning that our agency has a track record of being fair and equitable in our land acquisition process. We have a lot of experience expanding reservoirs, building stream bank stabilization projects, so we're very familiar with all the laws and the policies that apply, and our goal is to make this as smooth as possible for everyone who's impacted by the project. Now, there are two main parts to the land acquisition process. The first is the purchase of your property, and the second part are the relocation benefits. Those are the payments that help you move to a new home. So I'm going to start by talking about the property purchases, and then I'm going to turn it over to Kim Polk, who's our relocation specialist, and she's going to walk you through the basics of our relocation program, okay? And then we're going to open it up to any questions you may have at the end. I do want to emphasize, as Commissioner Brown said, our primary goal is to be fair and equitable, and that's the number one thing that's on our mind. So let me start about the purchase process. As we mentioned at the last meeting in July, we sent out letters that are called the letters of intent, and those were sent out on August 3rd. And I had brought extra copies if anyone didn't receive it, or if you need an extra copy, we have those with us. So some of you, it sounds like, have received them. And thank you for everyone who's reached out already, who's received those letters. But the purpose of those letters was to inform you that your property was needed for the project. Now, it requested that you schedule an appointment with the MWRD to meet with our acquisition team, okay? And the purpose of that meeting is to have a one-on-one conversation with you to learn more about your living situation and and to really talk you through the process as it relates to your home. The number one thing that we need to do is conduct an inspection for purposes of the appraisal, okay? Everyone's property will be appraised for the project. So at that meeting, we will have an appraiser, and Kim will also be there to talk about the relocation process. Now, it's very important that you reach out to the MWRD to schedule this appointment. We're gonna work with your schedule to reduce the impact. And it's very important that you provide all the information you can about your home to the appraiser, because we want to make sure they get a full picture of everything in your home. So for example, if you've made recent improvements or if you have special features, you can share all of that with the appraiser, and we will make sure that it's in his report when he estimates the value of your home, okay? Now, if you don't want the appraiser to conduct an interior inspection, that's okay, that's your choice. But in that case, the appraiser will conduct an exterior inspection of your home, and he will make assumptions about the condition of your home. So we recommend having that interior inspection so that we get a full picture of all the aspects of your home as it goes into the value, okay? Now, the timing for these meetings, we'd like to schedule them in the September and October timeframe. Okay, so that's coming up. So we do encourage you to reach out to the people in that letter, and we have all the information here too that we'll share with you. Because here's what happens after the appraisal is completed. We will make you an offer to purchase your property that's based on that fair market value appraisal. The whole process is designed to make sure that you receive just compensation for your property, okay? And that's why we want to make sure it's a full report. When you get that written offer from the district, you're going to have time to review it and consider it. One option, if you think the offer is fair and reasonable, you can accept the offer. And in that case, we enter into a purchase and sale agreement and we schedule a closing, just like we would for any other traditional property if we were to buy or sell a home. If you don't agree with the MWRD's offer,
insight regarding this project. And as you all mentioned earlier about fairness and equity, that's simply what we're looking for. The residents here across 153rd Myrtle Street that sit on this side, the simple ask is, could the project be moved? And myself, you, Mayor Clark, we all, and thank you, Mayor Clark, for hosting as well. We all had this conversation regarding the move, and the high level answer is no, it cannot. But when we think about the overall project, I think a beginning question that everyone wants to know is what other proposed site locations were available or are available for this particular project, as well as we talked about the funding that could potentially be cut within this project. So those are my starting off 2 questions, and I know the residents at large have several questions.
The city, or MWRD, attempted to identify and study underutilized and vacant parcels throughout the city. There was the 4 criteria that I talked about earlier. Needed to be big enough to support the size of the basin, which was between 3 to 4 acres of open space. It needs to be centrally located within the project area. And it also needs to be in close proximity to the Wood Street storm sewer system and combined sewer system. And through coordination with the city, this was identified as the preferred alternative.
I think the second question was how much has been put into this project already and the potential to lose the grant.
Yes, there's been a lot of thought that's been put into the location of this basin. We applied for a FEMA brick grant, and any change in scope could potentially jeopardize our the funding of the project. So it's not an easy change to be made, because that would change different benefit to cost ratios and other different things that would jeopardize the grant.
So while you were saying regarding, thank you for answering, in that first question, you said this was the proposed site. So were there any other additional sites provided as an option before the 153rd block was selected?
That's not true. There was a study done earlier in 2014 where it was supposed to be on the 144th block of Wood Street, where the old Lyman Gordon process was. Now all of a sudden we're hearing that no, this is the only site, and that's not true.
Yes.
So we gotta figure something out here, because that's not true.
Their proposed location, we did look into it, and there was a number of reasons that wouldn't have worked. But hydraulically, it wouldn't work because it's located downstream of the flooding that is experienced in Harvey.
Okay, so I wanna go back to the map that you guys have up there. There is a map on the other side of the city.
Wait a minute. Or if they can step forward. Well,
Prior to providing the mic, we want to make sure we have order, so if you guys
I'm asking
can
a question.
ask it.
I'm asking a question.
No, I just can't hear you. So
You can't hear me?
Yeah, so I
Okay,
asked for a
thank
mic for
you.
you. Sorry, thank you.
So, like I was saying, in the effort to maintain order, if you guys can let us know that you have a question, then we'll get the mic to you so you can answer your question. But we need to make sure we maintain order. We just don't want continuous yelling out because it will start talking over each other. I wasn't addressing the entire audience.
So back on the map that you guys have up there, there was a spot to that area to the west side, that red area. I can't see it because I can't see streets, so that you guys know what I'm talking about. But it's the old Dixie Square spot, so you're telling us that that's plenty of space, has room, but you guys can't go that way, to the west, because it's downhill, it's uphill. Come on, give us some feedback here.
So you're saying the area to
Right.
the west then?
Yes, to the west of that blue where the water is. I don't know what good is. I can't see streets. I've lived here all my life,
Yeah, three dots, that's the Dixie Square.
and I've lived here all my life, and I can't tell from that map where anything is. So I have no clue.
The southeast portion was identified as the area that experienced the most flooding. This is a map that shows flooding.
Right, I understand the map, but I just can't see where Harvey is, and where you guys are proposing the map now versus what other areas could be used as an alternative. That's what I'm saying. So I understand the logistics, I understand the process, but you're displacing these people for what? You know, did you ask them, do they have flooding in that neighborhood? Do we? You know, see, that's what I'm talking about. I live 3 blocks from them, and I don't get flooded. Water gets in my street, but that's only because, guess what? Our infrastructure sucks. We haven't done anything in years with it. So, I got this. But you guys need to give us an alternative plan, and it has to be soon before you guys bulldoze their houses.
I agree.
I agree. Is, and I've heard from quite a few residents. No, I think everybody can hear me. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. All right. I've heard from quite a few residents, is the issue of location. And I personally want to get that clear as well. Because where the basin's proposed, why couldn't you move the basin over to the west side where the empty space is and just let the water run from there and have the flooding work? I mean, have the flooding drain off. Why couldn't you move it over there? Why would that not be a choice of location? Why was this, because according to what I understand, and I understood, you know, it was topographical and geographical and what you say, hydrologic studies that were done that brought us to that area as far as revealing the most flooding. So why couldn't we put it over here in Dixie Square? It's a lot of space over there in this lake, and I think that's what people don't necessarily understand, and I don't think they're getting a full explanation of why you can't just put it in Dixie Square where there's empty space.
So a couple things. What's that? Oh, sorry. My name is Jared Oliver. I'm a consultant for MWRD. We did look at the Dixie Square Mall. I'm not sure of the ownership of that right now, if it's owned by the city or privately owned. So that would be, you know, an additional acquisition if we wanted to put detention there. I think if it is privately owned, we did look at putting detention on the mall, if a developer were to develop that, they would have to provide their own detention to offset any type of developments they did. So we were leaving that for whatever development would potentially go there, but we did account for that in our model. As far as getting stormwater to a detention basin at the mall property, generally Harvey and this site slopes from the southwest to the northeast. So to address the worst flooding at that eastern portion of our project area, that's almost a mile that we would have to run storm sewer back to the Dixie Mall. There's I believe a 54-inch combined sewer in Page that we're already having to contend with, that we couldn't get over or under very easily with a pipe from the east side all the way to the mall. There's also the Roby diversion, which is on Roby, which I think is east of the mall location. That's another very large pipe that we would have to figure out how to go over or under. So just by having to run a pipe a mile or two west and go over that, just the hydraulics would not work. We couldn't get water from the worst area to a detention basin there by gravity means. And going under just wouldn't be practical. By the time we got to that mall, we would be 50, 100 feet deep. I don't know how deep it would be. But we did look at the mall, but it just does not work to address flooding on the east. On the west side, there is less, there would be the need for less detention, and there is
What
more
about the
capacity.
construction? The construction over there off of Dixie Highway. There should have been a way where they could have averted. The Harvey.
Well, hold on.
There's a construction program. Oh, okay, I know. Maybe you all are not aware of that. Oh.
That might be something for the city, it sounds like.
Yeah, but there should have been some kind of way where they could have averted some kind of tunnel system.
I think we have enough advanced in technology where that could have been figured out versus displacement.
Right.
But they tore up Dixie Highway.
Right.
They averted, they could have done something. We should have, Harvey should have been much in contact with that. They tore up that whole, I live here now, and they were working on that I-57. I'm sure they geniuses could have averted some plans. That's okay, I'm done.
Just so everybody, sometimes it's hard to hear y'all from back here and really get it through.
I have nothing more to say. Because it seems like they're not quite, they don't really know what I'm speaking about.
I don't know the order in which y'all first put y'all hands up. So nobody get offended who I gave the mic to first. All right. All right, we're going, all right.
Hi, my question is, and I don't live on 153rd in Myrtle, so it doesn't directly affect me, but it will sooner or later. And my question to you, you just stated the reason you didn't use Dixie Square because of all the troubles and this and that, but you don't think the trouble of these people that worked hard for 50 and 60 years or 30 years to obtain these homes? I mean, these people were on the grind. I mean, it wasn't easy living here. I'm a 50-year resident. It wasn't easy living here. So I'm sure them living on the east side, it wasn't easy for them. So for them to have to just give up everything that they know, everything that they own, everything that they worked for, that's a slap in the face. There's no monetary value for that. I don't care how much you give them. A lot of them are at 70 and 80 years old. Where are they going to restart their lives at? That's something that, I mean, you guys are doing it because, for one, you all don't even live in Harvey. So it doesn't bother you. It's not even going to affect you, but it affects us. I'm a person that I get flooded in my basement all the time. And I'm in the 5th ward. Nobody, I mean, I call all the time about mine. here, he can tell me. And there's a field right across from my house that used to be the Fallow's, the factory right there. All of that is open. And it has a gate. It's already fenced in. Why you guys didn't come look over there? I mean, I don't understand why a lot of this stuff was not studied better than what you say you've done. Because these people are being displaced. You know, some of them, this is generational wealth for them. Because this is the foundation that their grandparents or their parents built for them to carry on for generations to come. And you guys are stopping all of that. For what though? And I mean, Harvey's been flooding forever. I'm, like I said, a 50-year resident. And you just now stepping in trying to take care of the stuff? 50 years? That's not fair. It's not fair. And you all know that sitting up there, y'all know it's not fair. This is not fair at all.
Listen, with all due respect to everybody that's here, we all had extremely long days, and I want everybody to have an opportunity to do that. So to voice their concerns, please make sure that when we hand you the mic, ask your questions, make your statement, but we gotta be respectful for everybody that's here. So just be mindful of that we don't do like an entire monologue here. Go ahead, we're gonna go up top, and then we're gonna come back here.
Thank you. I just wanted to say something for a minute. So first, water reclamation. We're here because we heard about the concerns you have. So
can you tell everybody who you are?
My name is Carrie Still. I'm president of the Board of Commissioners at the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. So basically, the Board of Commissioners, we vote on the projects that we're going to work on or that we will assist communities with. So nothing moves without the board's vote, and it's a 9-member vote. And as you see, we're very concerned about this project because 4 of us are here right now. We have our executive director here, we have our chair or department head of our engineering department here. We brought the whole team out because we did hear that there were a lot of questions that we assumed were answered. And so we came out just to know what was going on and to hear your questions and concerns. So I think we should start by just making sure that you hear us and we hear you. Because how did we get here? We got here because an application was sent to the MWRD to assist with flooding. And so we searched out the information and came up with what we thought was the best solution. Well, we're totally open to your suggestions and to hear, what other options are available. The application that was submitted to the MWRD, the project location was the southeast corner of West 144th Street and Wood Street. So the city of Harvey came to MWRD. We send out emails and make phone calls every year asking to assist communities with stormwater management. And you're right, encouraging them to improve their local infrastructure. We're glad that Harvey reached out to us because, of course, we want to help all communities, but we want you to want the help and to appreciate the help. So if you don't want the project, that's definitely a conversation that we should have. Now, this is the first I'm hearing of Dixie Square, and that's why I'm glad we're having this open communication so we can all hear about other options. Mayor, if you want us to look into Dixie Square, we're more than happy to. We can tell you what the outcome of it is. Maybe Catherine O'Connor can look into that. But what we really need to do right now is I'm taking notes over here. I'm hearing all of your concerns. And then we'll basically present to you what the options are. And you have the option. You all have the option to say yes or no. Now, we are at a particular place in the project where the yeses are because your city council has voted on specifics. The Board of Commissioners have both voted on specifics of fulfilling asks that you made. But we can even look at alternatives of what we need to do if we need to redirect that ship. So let's everyone just get our questions out, get our concerns out, know that we're on your side. So that's why we're here. We're on your side. So it's not that we're trying to take anyone's home. Please don't think that. We're not trying to take your home. We're trying to give you a solution to a problem. And that's all we're trying to do.
Thank you, President Steele. And that's basically it. There was a problem. There was a problem in 2018 when the staff was going in and out, so I was responsible for that. But just so you know. But in 2018, when the previous term, the previous mayor, and I was on that board along with Shirley Lewinsky, and I think you were on that. No, yes, you were on that at that time, Alderman Keith. So we voted to have the assessment done to find out, out of all of this flooding area here, what were areas that we could concentrate on to try to address the flooding in the city of Harvey. Now, might I add, down in the right-hand corner of that triangle, okay, is where the proposed basin is going to be located. We still have everything up above there that still needs to be addressed. There are still issues for some of you who don't live in that particular area. So you're not on that 209. We still have to address your issues. I used to live at 17 West 150th Street. That's 150th and Marsh Street, right on the corner. 105th Ward. 100-year flooding, okay? I had to pay additional flood insurance as a result of it, even though they told me they would only flood maybe one time in 100 years, okay? I still had to pay that flood insurance. And I still had to deal with the issues that we had, you know, which I consider flooding. Now, mind you, the definition of flooding, my definition, I would say the layperson's definition of flooding, may not necessarily be the same. Because I figure if there's water in my basement, it's flooding. You know, but then when you ask your insurance company, they say it's not. But what we were trying to do at that time, and once again, I was an alderman at that time, we were trying to help. And we were trying to help, in my opinion, because there was so much environmental injustice and environmental inequity in the city of Harvey in comparison to the cities around us. Okay? And in comparison specifically to more affluent communities. Because some more affluent communities already had the ability to pay for this themselves. So some of them did it themselves. Some of them did it in conjunction with MWRD. Some of them were able to handle their own issues. But we weren't getting that. So while places like Orland were dry, and say Homer Glen were dry, and I don't know, Tits Parks of Tilly were dry, as soon as we got 3 drops of rain, it flooded. So we reached out to MWRD because we needed help. We could not afford to do it ourselves, because those of you who have been into the previous meetings, and you've heard me talk before, the city is $164 million in debt. That's what we inherited when we came into office. So we don't have the finances to go out and do these types of projects on our own. So we build relationships, we build partnerships. We cooperate with other entities, and we lean on their expertise. The engineers came back, and this is the part that I basically wanted you to say, and I didn't hear it, maybe I'm wrong. Water runs a certain way. And everybody in this room knows that. You can't put water down here and expect for it to go up there unless you're pumping it up. A basin, in my opinion, acts like a cup. And so the water has to run toward the lower points. From my understanding, that was the lower point. And that's why you can't put it in Dixie Square, because Dixie Square is not the lower point to address the issue that you want to address now. Now, before I get too far out of the weeds, if I'm wrong, then just tell me that I'm wrong.
Generally right.
But see, you gotta tell it to the people in a way they can understand it. You know, because the simple fact is, everybody knows where water's gonna run. And that's where it's running, to that area. That's why that area is flooding more than, say, for instance, some of the rest of the areas. Because all the water is running to that area and pooling in that area. To the tune of, you say 15.4 million, how much that would be in the whole gallons?
7.5 million.
7.5 million, excuse me, okay. $7.5 million of water. So, I understand. First of all, we heard you. Because there's so many people in the city that complain about flooding every time it rains. Every time it rains. And we get the calls every time it rains. And we can't do anything about the rain because we can't make it happen and we can't stop it. But we can try to do something about the flooding, which is what we're trying to do. And so you have, I don't know what happened to the, so you have the basin here. On the west, on Wood Street, we have IDOT putting in, I think it's 2.5 miles, maybe between 2 to 2.5 miles of sewer that's going to be connected into the basin. The basin is going to connect into. That's another $45 million project that, once again, the city of Harvey has $164 million worth of debt. That's what we inherited. So we don't have $45 million to do that. So IDOT, along with our partners and our friends and those who we establish relationships with, agreed to put in that sewer system for us. And then there's another 160,000, I think it's 1,000 linear feet that's being done on the west side of the city to try to eliminate flooding. But all of this is because the people, not everybody I see, but the people of Harvey, the vast majority of the people of Harvey, said that flooding was an issue, that they needed some relief, that it has been historically that way. And I heard someone say, yeah, for 50 years. Well, that's shameful in and of itself. But as a community who is not as affluent, okay, and who is sometimes not the right complexion, for all of these years while we were overlooked, other people were getting the dollars that we should have had. And so I'm proud of what, first of all, I thank you for being here, because you're expressing a concern to all of us that you care about what's going on. It's not to displace people. If there was a way that we could go about fixing the flooding without that, sign me up. I'm all for that. But from what I understand, that cup right there is the primary location to help relieve flooding in the city. The other thing that I just want to speak a hard truth, because we've seen this before. All of these investments that are coming into the city, they don't come easily. They come because we have started to develop relationships that we did not have before. And you remember the time when no one was investing in the city of Harvey for anything. Whether it was putting up a business, whether it was doing some infrastructure projects, or anything like that. And there were times when money was available, and we passed up on that money for a variety of reasons. So at the end of the day, we are finally at a point where the governor is paying attention. Our board is paying attention. Big Durban is paying attention. Tammy Duckworth, we just, what was it, 3.5 million was just announced this past week. Tammy Duckworth, Senator Tammy Duckworth is paying attention. President Tony Preckwinkle is paying attention. Finally, we have the attention of all of the people that we have wanted for so many years. And I understand, like I said, but the only thing that we wanted to do, along with the MWRD was trying to help to reduce some flooding. And that's it. So, who's got another mic?
I got the other one.
Oh, great.
Hands, please. What on this, man?
Thanks, sir. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
He gets to
First
stand
of
up
all-
front because he's an alderman, just in case you didn't
Yes, I
know.
am. My name is Tracy Key. I'm 4th Ward Alderman, and I'm here. I'm concerned because even if it's not my ward, I'm concerned about everybody in the city of Harvey and basically everybody in this world. It affects me. So, thank you for showing up and representing and beautiful speech displaying everything that you're here for because you want to get the correct information. And I'm just saying because I'm overly concerned. This area over here, actually on that block, by coincidence, since it's St. Susanna, I went to Martin Luther King in District 147. They only had 12 people that could make the basketball team, and evidently I wasn't good enough, but I used to go to St. Susanna because I went to a Catholic class through the week and I was able to play on the basketball team. And it helped me stay out the streets, and I ended up becoming a pretty good ball player and knowing everybody around the area. And just in general, when people are displaced in their homes, I think about myself because it affects me too. I'm an alderman, so I stay on 154th in Winchester. So if you guys were gonna have the retention pond over on my block, I would have to move, and that means I can't be alderman no more unless I find a place in the 4th Ward. About my daughter and everybody going to school, it's a serious situation. I understand it has to be done, but my confusion is just a simple fact that we should have like at least 3 or 4 different areas in the city where we can say what would be the best place for this to go. Instead of just one place, and just for bringing my attention to just this one place, and having concern around the area. There are multiple blocks. Now this house that are people that are being displaced, I looked on the block, it's like 2 or 3 vacant properties, so it's at least like 10 or 15 houses that are being occupied. But I look on the next block, it's a whole block of vacant. I look to the west, it's a whole block of vacant property. So when we put this retention pond, what is it going to surround? Number of vacant properties. So when we got all these vacant properties, where the raccoons going to go when they want to get more? The rats, everything, like that, where people coming down the street throwing bottles, and then we have to maintain it and everything. We put it right in the area that I don't think is best, but if it's the best solution, I was just simply saying that maybe we could just have an evaluation of all the best places, because I would hate to have to be, displaced. My mom passed away last year, and she brought us out here when my father passed when I was 2 years old. I'm 54, and she had that house, and I said, what, I'm not moving nowhere. I'm gonna take pride in this house. I done fixed my mama's house up, so nice, and I take pride, and I'm not letting it go.
Hey, brother, it's a few houses only on Myrtle. We're all retired folks.
Hey, I might be in a
It's a
situation.
few houses, we're all retired. Yeah, I understand what you just said.
Yeah, but let me go there.
It's just a few houses on Myrtle.
Before we mess everything on up,
All right.
It be dictated the whole night. What I'm saying
I'm
is
sorry.
that all the other
It's a few houses. We all
Again, y'all, we gotta let everybody have an opportunity.
In the essence of time.
We cannot monopolize.
Right, in the essence of time, we cannot.
Y'all can be here all night in the parking lot and talk about it, but you gotta let everybody else have something to
Alderman,
say.
thank you, Alderman.
I'm with you.
Give the mic to,
I have not been talking that long. I have not been talking that long to just finish. And all I need was just 10 or 15 seconds and then be here. Why don't we all because everybody?
Thank you.
I'm not, I respect you, I respect you, bro, but we can't.
Did he just say all I want is just simple for everybody to be able to speak and let the people know how I'm here to support the residents and how I appreciate situation, everything that's going on, everything trying to do with this city. All I'm doing is trying to say I'm just here and I care, and that's about it. So if I'm wasting too much time saying that, then I'm sorry.
Thank you, brother.
No, I'm not trying to waste no money. Come on, y'all. can't get a point. Come on. Everybody's voice is important. That's not what we're. Give me 1 second. I see you. We want everybody. We respect everybody's voice. That's why we all gotta be mindful of each other and make sure. I said I see you. Yes, I see you. And did I not acknowledge you earlier when I said you was coming next? All right, so we don't have to do that. I said I see you. But I'm asking everybody to remember, everybody needs the opportunity to, we want to hear everybody's voice. So please, don't give us the sermon. Just give us the whole.
Hello, I met a few of you when we went down to the meeting. Thank you for coming. But I'm gonna do this. We gonna tell the truth and shame the devil tonight. There you go. In black and white from MWRD, when we proposed those 14 questions, and it was stated, how was the location determined when residents are stating they do not have flooding issues on Myrtle Block? You know, you did your hydraulics, your H&H, whatever you did. However, the exact location of the basin was determined in consultation with the city of Harvey over the past few years and was driven by their desire to develop a central park. So let's tell them that the reason why is because you want to build a central park, and that's essential sanctions data is adjacent to our homes that are being affected, that we live, I'm 47, they live 50 plus years. Let's tell the truth.
That's true. Do you want to say what you want to say before?
I do. I just, my voice projects really well. I'm a little confused. We talk about the betterment of Harvey all the time, right? We all want it. This is our tax dollars. This is my tax dollars. I'm a lifelong resident. I've been here 61 years. My parents built the house. My grandparents came here in 1928. So talk about longevity. I haven't. With that being said, how many people have been here in 1980? Yeah, there's a few of us. Do you remember right down the street, Ingles, when they bought neighborhoods?
Yeah.
Do you know the hostility that those people felt? And look at today. We have a beautiful hospital, which many of us have gone to in our lifetime. Am I right? No? Okay. All right. We're talking apples and oranges, right? We are talking. Hey, wait.
Please.
I am telling you. Yes, it is. Here is the bottom line. You have blood. You may not have it, and you may not have it. But there are residents in this city that has flooding. They have their basements flooded. My house was one of them. I'm on 158.
All right, excuse me, everyone. I'm Chief Victor of the Harvey Police Department, but I have to maintain order. Our police department gonna have to ask for leave. So again, we're gonna have to maintain order. You're gonna have to raise your hand if you want to speak, and we'll keep it moving.
So I'm up in that other area. I am up in that other area where eventually these guys will get to me. But this area is the most priority. Now, out of the homes, how many homes here are affected? How many actual out of the 15 residents? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. You know what's more important? Instead of hearing what I have to say, what I have to hear, let's hear from what they want to say. Let's hear what they want to say and the impact it's going to have on them. We all have empathy for you. We all do. But what they proposed, just say your house right now is valued at 150, and you move, God forbid, but you move, and you move to South Holland. Your same house, that's 150, is going to go to South Holland, maybe 200,000. they're gonna give you the difference. So you're gonna get more money for your house.
But they don't want to move,
and for your property versus looking out the door and seeing abandoned lots, seeing a building that is already sold, broken down, and obsolete. Your house value is gonna be more at your new location. Now, that's all I'm saying. Now, I'm putting the dollar amount. I understand the emotions. My father built my house with his own hands, with my uncle. I understand you put your heart and passion. So I would like to hear from this board, if you don't mind. Thank you.
And before we do, I want to make sure I answer that question. Because yes, we want to tell the truth. And the truth is,
Can we have people line up from the podium?
that would be a really good thing to do.
What I don't want to do is, I don't want to disrupt this young lady's opportunity, but I will ask y'all, because I don't even know what the limit is or how long we're supposed to be here. I'm good to
We're supposed to be at 8 o'clock.
I'm good here at midnight, but I'm just saying.
But hold on one second, because I want to make sure we get this record straight.
So she'll go next, and then I'll ask everybody else, let's please line up against the wall, and let's just come to the podium.
The driving of the retention line. The answer to that is that is absolutely incorrect. I heard what you said, and I believe you because I read the answers too, and I did not agree with that. That did not drive it. See, if they had put it at the top, we would have proposed it there. No, and I think you're seeing what I'm saying. If they had put it at the top, we would have proposed the part there. If they had put it on the left, we would have proposed it there. We were trying to basically make the most hay of what we were getting. So if there's going to be a detention basin in an area within the city, then why not make it look like some of the other nicer areas in other communities? Why not add the native grasses? Why not put the walking trail around it? Why not do those things to make it look nice? Now, it just so happens that while that was happening, remember, this started in 2018. In 2018, that part started. There was no clue, we had no clue that at that time, that the Pope and the Archdiocese was interested in shutting down St. Susanna. And what is it, St. Gabriel, Shirley?
I'm sorry, what?
The St. Susanna and St. Gabriel they shut down?
Gerard.
St. Gerard. Yeah, the Markham. We had no clue the Archdiocese was interested in shutting down St. Susanna and St. Gerard. We had absolutely no clue. I know we have one member of Lord of Mercy. I don't know if we have any other former St. Susanna members. But the bottom line is, that were burned.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Well, we had no, and what happened with St. Susanna there. That's the case. If you're a current member. Because the city of Harvey had nothing to do with that. The Archdiocese shut the parish down. So when they shut it down, it gave us another opportunity to be able to build upon what was already suggested based on the results. And the results were at that specific location. That's where the most flooding was taking place. At that specific location, that's where the city would get the most benefit at this time. And at that specific location, at least from what I understood, that there may, at the time, there may be monies available to help to complete that project. So it was not driven by the desire to have a park, okay? And we're going to ask them if they want to correct the record or not. Because the simple fact, it wasn't driven by the desire to have a park, because wherever they would have put it, we would have taken advantage of that. So that's how it went down. And I want to make sure that that's understood.
Well, why are you trying to make the record? The residents, when we asked you to come and meet with us after the 15th, you never even wanted to meet with us. You showed us no compassion, no empathy at all.
I don't believe that's true.
Yeah, it is.
We are the ones, first of all, we are the ones.
No, we're all here. You've never met with anybody. You should have met with us. We are in this place. People have worked for 50 plus years in their homes.
That's the least you could do.
And here's the thing, we have private cars, so the thing is, it's not like, oh, we can just get up and go and do all of this. do you think it's
You're
gonna,
right.
they built these things with their spouses, that they are no longer here with them. What do you think that's gonna do to them when they have to leave? You don't care, because you never
Well,
care.
you've already painted me with the brush, and that's the reason why. And that's the reason why I haven't met with you. Because you've already painted me with the brush.
Ooh, she went there because it's really coming out.
We had two meetings. We had two meetings specifically for the
Give
residents.
him alternatives, and he said, I don't
And
care.
in those meetings, I
We know
expressed
it.
my greatest sympathy, my greatest concern. The one thing that I wanted to make sure happened was that I wanted to make sure that everyone who was involved got the fairest and best deal that they could possibly get. Because it's difficult to have to be displaced. It's difficult to have to give up a family home. That's how it is. See, my family's already done it once. So we've been through it. And I understand exactly what that's like, what it feels like. Okay? So at the end of the day, when we had those two meetings, for that specific purpose. And we tried to have them private, even though there were a few additional residents there. We tried to have them private because we didn't want everybody's private business to be out there. Okay? And we didn't think that they wanted that to happen. So at the end of the day, we had those two meetings. And it was to express the concern and try to address those issues. That's what we tried to do.
One of the residents was overcome with emotion. She had to step out. Colby went to comfort her. Second ward alderman.
That meeting was on the 15th. It was a public meeting. I've been to every meeting. It was on the 6th, the 15th, and one, we had two on the 15th.
Yes.
One left.
Yes.
And you never said anything in regards to the citizens that was being displaced.
I specifically said
You
to
said-
you.
You said that you didn't want to talk
No,
about
I specifically
it.
said
It's
to
already
you.
in public.
Well, I tell you what, then I guess you know what, I can't win for losing. Because I remember what I said. And I remember you said, I said, if you need me, I'm right here for you. You said, I know when to meet the mayor. I need to come there on Fridays.
Right, but the thing is, we wanted to talk to you as a group, this 153rd Street.
I wasn't aware of it, honestly.
You never.
I was not aware of it.
You never called us.
I was not aware of it.
You never said anything in regards to that.
I was not aware of it. Bottom line. So I'll put it this way. That door is still open. Okay? That door is still open.
You don't want to talk to a group of people, you want to talk to a person.
No, I don't talk to you collectively. That's why we had the two meetings. The two meetings,
That was a
every,
public meeting. That-
No,
the
no,
public
ma'am.
does not live on 153rd.
no ma'am. The very first meeting we had that you came to,
All of it.
that was supposed to be a private meeting, specifically for the people who were being impacted. Those people that showed up, other than MWRD, were people who were being impacted because we wanted to have a conversation with the people who were being impacted. The second meeting,
Did you say this is the first time I heard of it too?
The second meeting.
What you said in the first meeting.
well, I'm telling you, the second meeting, we did the same thing. We had a second meeting specifically for the people who were being impacted. They were sent out notices again. We hand-delivered notices to homes, made sure that we got to those people so they could be aware. Now, that was the second meeting. The third meeting we had was the meeting that was open to the entire public.
All these letters that were being sent out and people knocking on the door, people did not get it. I have not got one letter that was supposed to have been sent to the house except the one for July 6th. That was the very first one.
Right, so you knew to come to that meeting?
I knew to come to
Okay.
that meeting, but that one was not from the city park. That was from the MWRD or whoever they are. That's who that letter was from.
Did you guys put out letters?
They put out the letter that we asked.
That we delivered? Okay, yeah, we delivered the letters. They provided us the letters.
You delivered it?
Yes, the city delivered the letter, but MWRD provided us the letter that was delivered to you, and we hand-delivered those letters.
No, they were banned.
I'm going to start over here.
Hello, I'm Kayla, and I'm a resident on 153rd. If this is I feel like if this is a partnership and we're a community, I hear what everybody is saying. I feel like things can change. Like, just like the woman said over there, I don't remember who, advancing technologies, communication. If we can send a man to the moon, we can do anything. I'm just saying, anything is possible. We can negotiate, we can talk. I just feel like we shouldn't just be thrown to the side. Things should change, we should talk more about it. Places can change, Harvey is big. I'm not getting this one place. Like, it's just not fair to us, and especially since they're elders, like, not to be disrespectful or anything, they're old. But that's all I have to say. Anything, things can still change.
My name is Cheryl Jones. I live at 15544 Vine Avenue. I am in the second ward. And MWRD, thank you for coming. Because like the young lady said, things can change. Could we please look at possibly putting smaller retention ponds, smaller drainage around this block, considering that it has to be centrally located? Can we do something just a little bit different? Like I said, technology has changed, even since 2018. It's changed. Let's go back to the table. Let's see what we can do at a smaller scale around this area. Because like they said, Myrtle has a lot of empty homes on the next block. Vine.
Right.
Loomis,
right.
We have areas. We can do something small. So let's just go back to the drawing table. Because this arguing and that back and forth is not going to stop, because I feel that in the end, the bulldozers are going to be at their front door and it's just going to be escalating. I'm just saying, just the blocks, 4 blocks east and 4 blocks west.
Right.
That's what I'm just saying. Just look at north and south. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I like that.
Brian Timowski, so I live 2 blocks over on 300 block of Ashland, so I would echo that as well. There's no reason we can't find alternatives. Thank you guys again for listening to us when we came to your meeting. I think the problem's been from the beginning, unfortunately, it's embarrassing for the citizens of Harvey to have you here, and I'm not happy to say it because I did support Mayor Clark when he's run before, but we've just been kept out of the loop in communication for everything. I was scolded, actually, when I came to his office about 2 or 3 weeks ago to ask about Ascension, ask about this. I was told repeatedly, I don't work for you, I'm not going to answer anything. So unfortunately, I understand. You guys probably don't want to change it because you're like, I don't want to get in a fight, that's between people in the city. But I'm telling you the truth, that's the truth. We don't know anything at any time. And guess what? I'm on the Planning and Zoning Commission. And this is the first that I heard of it in July. I'm on the Planning and Zoning Commission. Did you hear that? So is Antonia right there. We don't know a damn thing. There are more than 450 parcels owned by the city of Harvey. Did you know that? You can use any of them. I do real estate. I'll walk you through it. So I don't have any beef with anybody, but I just have to explain to you, the president, what's going on. That we are constantly out of the loop. There are several FOIA lawsuits pending with the city from many people. I wish I could say different, but